Bus was early and so I didn't make it, but don't feel like getting on the bus in these sunglasses. These sunglasses are giving V-Class, they're giving Porsche, even though I only paid like £10 for them. Welcome to a new vlog. I am showered and kind of dressed. I'm going to go and do a few admin bits / writing work in Cafe Nero. I feel like I include this disclaimer with every vlog, but Cafe Nero is like a British / European coffee shop. I never actually check. It is my favourite coffee shop out of the chains we have out here. There is one close by to my house. I like to go there a lot when I don't feel like working from home, particularly on writing bits where I have to kind of just like lock in for a long period of time. It is quite a nice day outside. It is a lot colder than it looks though. So I'm wearing this thick fleece that I brought from the charity shop years ago, and it's honestly one of my favourite purchases. It has followed me through many different eras of my life. It is just very useful for many different seasons as well. It's good for colder summer days. It is a spring staple. You can layer it. As I've said, I'm going to go and do some writing bits. It is Thursday today. For those of you who don't know, I'm a writer. I've got a substack. I did journalism at uni for undergrad, and then I set up my own like platform kind of thing, which is like heavy on the current affairs. I would say with maybe like a cup's worth of creativity like thrown into how I like cover current affairs. And then I also write about faith. I write a mini faith essay, which is drawing on my own experiences and wisdom that I've gleaned over the years from my walk with Christianity specifically. Didn't write the faith essay this week because it's good to just take pauses every so often. Sometimes I just need to take a break and get a little bit of a spiritual refill, so I've done that this week. And then for the culture essay, I am writing about, well, it's inspired by a story that I read over the weekend. I read it on Tuesday. I write about ChatGPT frequently. It's such an interesting, broad topic that just keeps on giving. I read a story about ChatGPT and a study that's been done on it, because obviously ChatGPT is still very new. We're living in a very historical time period. There was a study done the other day about how ChatGPT can essentially reach a breaking point and become hostile. In the study, they were feeding ChatGPT lines from a real-life argument to see whether or not it's capable of reaching a breaking point where it will take on the hostility that is being fed. And it did. And so the essay is inspired by that. It's inspired by breaking points, how each of our breaking points are different. They're all kind of informed by many different things, genetics being one, but then also your early years, your environment, the things you've picked up and learned in your formative years about how to manage stress tolerance and all of that stuff. So that's what we're writing about. I'm gonna go and get a first draft out for it today, because I've already started it. I've done a thorough plan and stuff. That's the plan for today. Well, first of all, it's a lovely day, and I feel like we need to start off with that. Oh, just lost the sun a little bit there. Yeah, what was I saying? It's a lovely day. It isn't only sunny, it feels warm as well today, despite it being like 12 degrees allegedly, but it's getting up to like 19. So we've got that to look forward to. Still pretty early in the day, it's a Saturday and I've just come back from my drama class. It was my last class with the drama teacher that I've had since I started. We're gonna go and like grab a drink at some point. Had a really good session today. I think I'm finally starting to like enjoy it. You know, when you're like learning a new skill, it's not fun because you're just too focused on like how bad you are at it. Let me just like stop for a second. I've got my laptop as usual. I'm going to finish off the essay that I was writing because I haven't finished that, and then I need to get into another writing project as well, which is unrelated to like the stuff I do on Substack. So I haven't looked at that for a while. I'm going to do that. Got breakfast as well, and we need to eat that at some point. And then I've got to film something for TikTok when I get back home. And then it's pretty chill. I don't have any other plans for today. I have my electrolyte water as well, which I felt like I needed after... It wasn't so much a night out. I went out for dinner yesterday with my friends and I had a drink at the end of the day. And one drink has made me feel very dehydrated, on top of having went to the gym and ran. I went to the gym and I ran as well earlier in that day. And so I feel like I was just like lacking in water, and also we had Chinese and I don't know, maybe it was a soju in that, but either way I will be sipping this across the afternoon. On my way to my appointment with the opticians, which I realise there's no context for. I have like an issue with like eye strain in my right eye. I've had it for ages, and so I'm finally getting it sorted out and seeing if they're going to give me like some special eye drops or something. I get so out of breath when I'm like vlogging while walking. I don't know why that is, but anyway, yeah, I've got my bag packed with like 3 different plans. So I've got my gym stuff in there, got my laptop, and then okay, I guess the third plan is that I go and run some errands. I kind of need to get my nails done, and I don't know whether or not I want to do that now. I kind of do, but what I should really be doing is going to the gym. But then I've got my laptop because there's always some writing that needs to be done. It's more just going over some edits for the devotional that I wrote yesterday that's going up tomorrow.
All we've got is the ones at the front. That's all we've got for ladies. Now on Tuesday, so it will be what about Monday? Yes, I might have sale.
The irony of wearing these glasses is that I can't really see as clearly as I'd like while wearing them. Obviously they're not real and they're dirty at the moment. Anyway, long time no see. I have been, I don't know, I think I've been wrapped up filming different bits and pieces for TikTok. It's very time consuming. And then also I've just been a little bit all over the place with writing as well. I think those things have kind of taken priority over vlogging. So Apologies for that. It is no, it's not, it's Tuesday. It was bank holiday weekend. Yesterday I had a little bit of a reset. I did what I normally do on Sunday on Monday. Cleaned my room, did the washing, did my skincare, all of that stuff. Today we're going back to the gym, God willing. I'm dressed though, I'm wearing the glasses and all of that because I was filming something for TikTok. The Met Gala was last night, and so I did the Things That Inspired Me series, but for the Met Gala, like a Met Gala edition of the looks that I liked. I need to edit that and upload it this evening. I went to the gym last, I believe, on Friday. I went for a run. Today I'm supposed to be doing upper body. My back is kind of hurting a little bit. I was doing silliness in the gym a week or so ago, and I think I've kind of like deepened an injury, so I'm kind of using that as an excuse to keep it very cute at the gym. And then when I get back, I'm going to write the devotional. When was the last time I spoke about my writing in this vlog? I don't know. But the devotional for this week is about claiming the promises of God. Revolving around the concept of without faith it is impossible to please God, which I believe is in Hebrews chapter 11. And that whole chapter is recounting the different notorious stories and events from the Bible of different individuals who were called to exercise almost inhumane levels of faith. There's Abraham, who was called to leave his home, sort of country town area, and just like walk off into the wilderness to a land that God would reveal within time, but he had to take that initial step to do that daunting journey where he didn't even know where he was going, into unfamiliar territory. And then also with his son Isaac, and him and Sarah having to believe God for a son in their old age. And then there was Enoch from Genesis. Enoch was an individual in the Bible that pleased God so much so by his faith that God just took him in the end because he so much wanted to be with him. I would say that this devotional, as I always say, they're always ministering to me first, and then I'm relaying something that God is speaking to me about to other people who have subscribed to my newsletter, and then also like whoever it reaches via TikTok and all the other channels that I put this stuff out on. Because I was thinking about different things that I feel like God has promised me personally, and also just promises at large that are in the Bible that apply to those who love and know God. Peace that passes all understanding, which I talk about all the time because I just feel like that's for me. Increased strength and joy in the Lord despite the surrounding circumstances, the world at large, and then individual personal circumstances. Good health, long life, expected ends, all of those things are in the Bible, and they're promises that God has made to us, and then he makes very specific individual promises to us on a personal level, which you get from spending quiet time with God and hearing what he has to say to you. You have to claim them. Like, there's a lot of things that I feel that God has promised me, a lot of things that God has promised me, that aren't yet here. Whether they're like specifically character traits, I would say qualities and experiences based on my character and who I'm yet to evolve into, that aren't yet the case. Things that aren't yet here that you need to speak into existence in order to bring it forth. That's essentially what faith is. Speaking power to the things that are yet unseen. If you aren't doing that, if you're not claiming those things and speaking as though they are, and basically saying that you have it already, which is basically the godly version, the biblical version of manifestation. This is like the originator to that, manifesting the promises of God, essentially. And it's through that kind of gives them the permission to enter your life in a way. It's a partnering, it's a collaboration that God expects us to enter into with him. The key to releasing those things is to partner with him, basically, to say, well, thank you for giving them to me, even though they're not yet here. I don't know, it's a massive concept, and I feel like I'm only just like touching the surface of it, speaking about it, and then also like writing the very mini essay that I do every Wednesday. But I've done like the scriptural references for that devotional. I need to sit down and write it. So I'm going to do that when I get back from the gym. Obviously, my hair is looking a lot different than it was. I've taken out the braids finally, which took 2 days, which I expected because it tends to take that long whenever I do the braids that small. But also, I apologise if it's echoey in here. You're in the bathroom. I said a few vlogs back that we were renovating our bathroom. Well, this is the bathroom. Been in here a few times, I think, since then. But here's a formal introduction. Anyways, washed my hair today because I finished taking the braids out last night and it was very late. So did hang with my hair, put it in deep conditioner, which I haven't got it in here to show you, but it's the Mayel Rosemary and Mint line, which I've shown on this channel several times. Deep conditioned it with that and some oil. Slept in that. Washed my hair like a few hours ago. Did a very brief deep condition with, oh my back. This, is it gonna focus? This Dr. Miracle sachet that I use every time I wash my hair, but I normally use it as like a pre-poo, if that makes sense. I normally put it on before I shampoo my hair and stuff, just to treat my scalp. But I did that after I washed it this time instead of before. And then I did my normal routine after that, leave-in conditioner, same line as a deep conditioner. Annoyed because I brought what I thought was one of these to replace it, and it was the shampoo, which has the exact same like bottle. So that's just in my room. Don't remember where I got it from, whether it was Superdrug or what. And then, oh, before I did that, sprayed my hair with some aloe vera juice just to lock in the moisture, because we're about to do a wash and go, and the gel can kind of suck the life out of like your hair moisture-wise. So did that as well before I did the leave-in conditioner. Oh, I'm jumping ahead of myself. This is the oil bottle that I was talking about with a significant blend of oils in here. There's amla oil in here, there's Jamaican black castor oil, rosemary in here, there is avocado oil in here, and there's tea tree oil in here, and then other times I add like jojoba oil maybe. But yeah, I really like avocado oil particularly for my hair, so that's in there. And then I used my fave, the Curl Enhancing Smoothie, which was just the cream I used to moisturise my hair, which goes really well when I'm doing like a wash and go because it partially defines it. And then I plaited my hair just to stretch it out a little bit because it's obviously wet. Wash and goes tend to scrunch your hair into your scalp, so the better condition your hair is in terms of like a stretched state before you do it, the better. Did some Pilates for my back. My back is hurting me a little bit. And so now here we are. Gel of choice. I have done a wash and go. I don't think I've done a wash and go recently on my channel. Not like with the routine that I do now, which is essentially just this, obviously with all the products that I already mentioned. But this is like the bad boy ingredient, extreme wet line. Doesn't have to be the blue one. Oh, just shut my camera. Doesn't have to be the blue one. A peppermint tea in the bathroom. See me. I am going to be in here for ages, so I just need something to keep me going. I'm just feeling a bit tired today. There is no caffeine in peppermint tea, but I just need that comfort. So without further ado, we're going to do my wash and go. I think I'm going to do like a time lapse because this is going to be a very long process. It is currently coming up to 6 PM. Kind of want to get this done, let it air dry for like an hour or two, and then just blow dry the roots and then stretch it out and then go on as normal tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm working remotely all day, so I'll be getting up early. So yeah, I'm gonna put on like a house tour on YouTube. My phone is like behind the camera, and watch that. Banded my hair as I said I would, and I thought that I would take it down on camera. A little bit low energy. It's also a little bit hot from what I'm wearing. I can feel the heat already. It's going to be 18 degrees today, which is fun, but I'm not wearing a coat and I'm going to be out for a while, so I feel like I'll regret it if I don't wear like something warmish. I always feel hotter as well when I have my hair out like this, so we'll see how I go. But I kind of like, well, I blow dried it last night just to make sure that it was dry, and then banded it up. And I have this little piece here that I didn't really stretch out too much because I wanted it to frame my face in a certain way. Alright, now it's just a picking game. I'm going to use the viewfinder as best I can to try and like judge out the partings. Oh my gosh, when I was doing my hair, I watched the best house tour. I think it was on Homeworthy. It was the best house tour I've ever seen in my life. It was the best apartment, rather, I've ever seen in my life. It was an apartment in New York by an interior designer called Alexandra Doherty. I can never really say that last name, though I've seen it countless times. I can't really see what's going on at the back, so I need to just like make sure it's not super flat. Like that. Insane. But a good hair day. I don't know what to do with this front piece at the moment, but I'm going to do my makeup like a very light face, which is what I want to do when I have my hair like this, and then we'll figure it out after that. Don't know why the lighting looks so warm on camera. It looks like the sun is still rising, but it is risen. It is come up to 8 o'clock. Done my makeup, put some earrings in as well, and yeah. It always takes me a little while to get used to wearing my hair in an afro, even when I've done it before, even when I've loved it before, just because, I don't know, I feel like every black woman kind of feels that way. But, well, maybe not everyone, but many of us do. And so, I'm breaking the ice and wearing it up to Central today, and I'm going to be out all day. Having an afro out all day is a bit of a challenge, but I've got my afro comb, so all should be well. The Cath Kidston bag has become one of those bags, or one of those items that I don't really know what I used to do before I had it. It carries everything. If I'm working remotely or I'm taking my laptop somewhere, because my laptop is like, I think it's the, is it a 16 to 32 inch? I don't know. It's like the Big Mac, and this distributes the weight along with my other belongings quite evenly. I will put my coffee and my breakfast, which is just going to be like a jar of oats, in there as well. But yeah, this is the hair. Did very light makeup because I just feel like that looks better to me. It looks like I'm out of the 70s, especially with like the shoulder pads, which I didn't take out, by the way. When I first brought this jumper, I was talking about, oh, I'm going to take them out and be boring, but I didn't. I kept them in, and I'm glad I did.